front, unfortunately, 28,000 Disney employees have been laid off or will be laid off in the process of Disney eliminating positions across the board. Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro offered the following statement, saying that in light of the prolonged impact of COVID-19 on our business, including limited capacity due to physical distancing requirements and the continued uncertainty regarding the duration of the pandemic, only exacerbated in California by the state's unwillingness to lift restrictions that would allow Disneyland to reopen, we have made the very difficult decision to begin the process of reducing our workforce at our parks, experiences, and products segment at all levels, having kept non-working cast members on furlough since April while paying healthcare benefits. Approximately 28,000 domestic employees will be affected, of which about 67% are part-time. We are talking with impacted employees as well as to the unions on the next steps for union-represented cast members. Huge news this week as 28,000 individuals across the board either are getting those calls as we speak, have already received those calls, or are being told by their unions in some regard that they will be getting calls eventually. We want to share with you that there are some numbers that have recently come out as to where things are falling in the sort of dike of the experience here and who's getting laid off where. The unfortunate news continues with non-union cast members as, according to WDW News Today, the Disneyland Resort will lay off nearly 2,700 non-union cast members. They do mention that the 2,700 non-union cast members are being reported on by the Orange County Register, and they are mentioning that those are all coming from different walks of life, whether this be entertainment, Disney destinations, Walt Disney Travel Company, you name it. Non-union cast members are experiencing some record number layoffs. I know that all throughout the week I've been watching as those layoffs continue to occur across the board, and definitely noticing that the social media of my friends is lighting up with a lot of those departures, a lot of those announcements that people are moving on, and that they all are receiving phone calls right now. Very sort of unexpected to just happen like that, but certainly continuing through this process as non-union cast members are getting those calls first, and then it sounds like union cast members will be getting those calls in the relative near future. According to the Local 11 union that represents a lot of hospitality cast members at the Disneyland Resort, they've issued a statement saying that 950 Disneyland Resort cast members are to be laid off come November the 1st. Again, they represent the majority of hospitality workers, a lot of those hotel union cast members that you may be aware of. So 950 of the 3,000 that Local 11 represents. And then in addition to that, Disney has announced a full breakdown of layoffs over at Walt Disney World. That obviously is going to be a pretty substantial number, as we have found many times. Walt Disney World being sort of a mini city unto itself, those numbers are pretty tremendous. They are rather significant in nature, and so it seems that 6,246 of the finance, operations, and possibly even resort-wide positions are being let go or will be let go. 65 administrative positions from the Celebration Florida offices, 49 individuals from the Orlando International Airport merchandise operations area, 22 creative costuming individuals, 8 Disney Reservation Center cast members, and 279 from the Disney Vacation Club. My goodness. Disney Vacation Club, obviously a much bigger business unit out on the East Coast than it is here on the West Coast. However, substantial numbers regardless, knowing that that is such a massive elimination of positions across the board. 28,000 individuals, 28,000 human beings, 28,000 lives impacted by this one sweeping decision by the Walt Disney Company, cast members that have made a tremendous impact on the overall experience, cast members that have delivered on the magic for some 20, 30 years even. This is affecting cast members across the board. We want to make it really clear that cast members that have been there 1 year are being eliminated, cast members that have been there 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, and all the way up to 30 is what I've been hearing from individuals that have had that longevity and have been excused from the company. You know, the statement that we saw from Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro, while it indicates that California's reopening was something that exacerbated the situation and definitely impacted their, I think, decision making overall, should be, I think, made quite clear that Disney made this decision. This rests on Disney. So this is their responsibility. They chose to make 28,000 people jobless based on the current climate and the pandemic. Obviously, Disneyland not reopening no doubt impacted how many people they let go. But Tyler, Katrina, these numbers are devastating. It was a bloodbath this week when it came to the amount of people that were let go, the amount of people that were sort of cast aside in this process. People that have given years of their life to this company are now in one phone call being excused, and they didn't get to say goodbye. They didn't get an opportunity to see their teams one last time. They're just gone. And my own social media, as somebody that worked for the last 12 years at the company, it's just been wall to wall. Hundreds of friends of mine, hundreds of people have lit up social media in the last couple of days, all with those announcements of, I'm next, it sounds like. Katrina, your reaction as these numbers started to pan out this week and as we started to learn more about it?
Gutted. I don't know. I don't really, it's hard to say how, I'm full of emotions. I'm angry at what they had to do, and I'm really sad that all these people have to go through all of this. And these people want to go to work. They want to make magic for people. And now they can't. And they can't even say goodbye to their team, these people that have worked there for 20, 25 years. Now, instead of having this big farewell, saying goodbye to everybody and walk in the park one more time, they don't even get it. And it's just heartbreaking. And then just seeing stuff through Twitter, I can't even imagine being a cast member and seeing your social media blow up saying I got the call, and everybody knows what that means.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible to see. And I know that over the course of since July, I should say, I think the company has been pushing heavily on Disneyland Resort reopening, and I kind of railed last week against the governor's inability to put any sort of guidance forward at this point. Very frustrated with the fact that, because we report on it week after week here, how he says, we're this close, we're about to issue guidance, we're about to say something, we're about to share this information, and week after week it gets kicked down the road, it gets pushed, and I'm convinced that the layoffs were coming regardless. I think we knew that from the beginning. We knew these layoffs were coming because you can't, as a theme park destination, I believe the Disney Parks branch of the company brings in roughly 40% of the revenue for the organization. So without your theme parks online in a full capacity, and then one of your biggest money makers in Disneyland not on at all, obviously you're going to have to make some pretty severe cuts. We've discussed the optics of executive pay being reinstated to its full amount, including bonuses, just prior to a lot of these things happening. So certainly that has enraged a lot of cast members who are frustrated, with their situation, and saying, well, it's nice to know that your bonus structure is being put back in place. It's nice to know that your pay is being reinstated in full. It doesn't look like the company's doing all that well by comparison, but with stocks up, slightly, I guess that's the case. I guess that looks good on them. However, we do know that the state of California has gone back and forth with this idea of issuing guidance. And I know that at the root of things, had that guidance been issued earlier, this number probably would have been a little bit lower. Don't know how much, but taking a leap there. And
it could have been at least maybe 18,000, not
28,000
or something,
right.
If we
it's hard to tell, honestly.
Even just opening part of it could have probably helped a little bit. But
I think that's a possibility, but as we saw in the previous slide and stuff like that, a lot of these people are, working in Florida, and they're not even in California. So, to think that Disneyland is, it's a massive part of their revenue, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to stop all these layoffs. If Disneyland was open right now, there would still be layoffs.
Sure.
No doubt about it. So
that's what I said.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm seeing stuff in the chat too that it's these things, it's not like it doesn't seem as simple as it actually is,
Right.
you know, or the opposite of that. Excuse me. It doesn't. It's more complicated than what it seems like. So, it's really a huge bummer. I mean, for us, I feel like the cast members are that magical part of the whole entire thing. Like, I don't care about going on, you know, Little Mermaid as much as I care about going to the park and seeing people that I've actually made like real friendships with, where now, you know, when you go, it's going to feel like such a different place, because that was like our exciting thing to do, was go and see the people that we knew, go and have fun with them. And it's a huge bummer to know that so many people are so affected. And I don't even know. Yeah, I've been through similar things like that, but I feel like this is even worse because it's so like high profile and everybody knows about it. And like, so it's just, you know, give these people space, be supportive, but don't be asking a bunch of questions and stuff. Just
don't blatantly come out and say, "Did you get fired?"
Yeah,
like don't. That, like, just be nice about it. And if you have job opportunities, or if you want to help and try to, if they're doing a small little business on the side on Etsy, share it.
Yeah.
You know, if you can, like, anything will help any of these cast members. Just don't go out and just say, "Hey, did you get fired?"
Yeah, realize that it's a
okay.
highly sensitive time, and people are in positions they never thought they'd be in. It's incredible just to think how much a year can impact things. You know, I think about Disney this time last year, and just what a powerhouse it was, and what was
Walking
what was
around,
happening, and
enjoying the Halloween things and the parties, and just, no little care in the world kind of thing. And now it's just like sad.
Yeah, and Tyler, you mentioned that obviously this is a situation that we need to recognize. Disney's not the only place that is in a situation like this. Disney's not the only place that's dealing with something like this. Out in Orlando, I think it's important to recognize Disney being the highest profile place, which you had mentioned, is obviously getting all the attention. But I think it's important to also make note that Universal Orlando is shedding 2,300 jobs now.
Yeah.
You have 1,900 at Rosen Resorts, another 1,900 at Marriott Properties, another 1,900 at SeaWorld, 1,300 at Gaylord Palms, 1,000 at the Hyatt, 1,200 airline workers from Orlando International that are being cut. It has been so tragic to see the tumbling and fumbling of all these companies, all these businesses, because at the end of the day, the people that truly get hurt are a lot of your frontline workers, are a lot of those people that are going to be cut in the end. And now you have 28,000 people, a portion of which have been notified. Don't even get me started on those people that have to wait because of their unions and the negotiation process. Imagine what that's going to be like, to have to sit there for another month, some 2, and worry about whether or not that call is coming for you. That's hard.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it too, but just because they're talking about this 28,000, that doesn't mean that there can't be more layoffs in the future. I mean,
it's just a part of it.
It's like a scary thing to think about. But now, it's crazy that Disney was once this solid rock that you just always thought you had this job security. There was no way that Disney was going to shut down. There was no way all this money was going to go away. They seemed like they were a behemoth, and now it's crumbling, and it's really heartbreaking for those cast members like you were speaking about earlier, who had been there for up to 30 years or so, who have been thinking this is their career, this is what they do. And now what are you supposed to go do? Especially, honestly, in a place like Orlando, where that whole town is theme parks. I mean, that's, built all of it.
Tourism.
It's built on tourism. And now what are you supposed to go do? Like, when, I don't even know how many people total are going to be laid off just in Orlando. But let's say if it's half of it, if it's 14,000 people, where are all these people going to go?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's really sad.
Josh Tomorrow said, "We've cut expenses, suspended capital projects, furloughed our cast members while still paying benefits, and modified our operations to run as efficiently as possible. However, we simply cannot responsibly stay fully staffed while operating at such a limited capacity," end quote. And I get it. You're bringing in substantially less in terms of revenue, substantially less in terms of overall capacity out of necessity, because that's the only way you can control things. We also learned that the demand when Walt Disney World that they thought was going to be sort of pent up just wasn't there. So they have not necessarily seen all the demand that they had anticipated. All of that, no doubt, playing into the overall numbers and what we're seeing from Disney in that capacity. And you're right, Tyler, heaven forbid, but who knows if there are more to come. With the numbers in Orlando being so over the top in terms of loss, the Anaheim numbers are, I won't say equally as bad, but pretty darn bad, as the Anaheim Director of Communications, Mike Lister, has explained this week that the number of unemployed residents in the city of Anaheim is now passing the 20,000 mark. This is devastating on every level. Obviously, Anaheim has a few more industries in it that it can rely on, but tourism is a huge part of that.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of like need Disneyland.
Yeah.
And then those hotels are ruined
right
now. No one's going to go and stay at Candy Cane Inn right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody goes there for Disneyland. That's
Yeah.
like what they associate with like these certain hotels. I don't know. It's just, it's devastating to see all of this happen. And I really hope that we hear news soon about what's going on with Disneyland, because like what Tyler said, like if this doesn't open, or if like Newsom just puts it on the back burner another like 2 weeks, that means like another like a month and a half could happen like for Disneyland to open. And at that point, wait until the new year.
Mm-hmm.
And then that means more layoffs.
And we have witnessed out in Walt Disney World the sort of safe rollout of Walt Disney World theme parks returning,
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to set up a safe environment, you know. And I've mentioned here before, did a whole series on it called Disney World and Pandemic. You can find it on our YouTube channel, you know, if you're interested in seeing exactly the type of safety measures that they put into place to really create a far greater standard of health and safety than the other theme parks even. And speaking of individuals that build and are cornerstones of the magic, we have some more unfortunate news. It turns out that Yeehaw Bob Jackson of Disney's Port Orleans Riverside Resort, long known for his incredible talent and performances there at that resort, he too has been let go after 20 some odd years performing at Port Orleans. In addition to that, performers at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort have also been let go during recent entertainment cutbacks. So all the luau folks, all the people that you see performing in the Luau Cove for the dinner party. And in addition to that, Disney's also gotten rid of the Grand Floridian Society Orchestra after more than 32 years. These individuals are, again, I say, cornerstones of the experience. They are the magic. These folks, being in entertainment, put that sparkle in the show, as we used to say when I was at Disney. Individuals that you expect to see every time you visit Walt Disney World, because they are Walt Disney World. Unbelievable to see that happen. And in addition to the entertainment cast members, over 400 Disney Imagineers, people from the Imagineering team, have also been on that list and will be let go, if they have not already. Seeing Yeehaw Bob go shocked me.
That's devastating, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he, in my opinion, he's the heart of Riverside. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like the main thing that I would look forward to from going to Riverside was seeing him. I just still couldn't help but smile and think of all the wonderful things that he even did outside of Disney. He used to go to Give Kids the World. He used to go to a lot of retirement homes and things like that, and just like, you know, play songs for the kids and things like that. And so I truly believe he is a wonderful human being, and it's really just heartbreaking to see him not a part of the Disney family anymore. That he was the heart of Riverside, really, in my opinion.
I mean, people come around like all over, like all over the world in their trips, and then, you know, they would see these people and say like, I can't wait to see Yeehaw Bob. We have to make sure we set out time on our trip to go see, you know, the Polynesian dancers and, you know, do this like luau thing, or, you know, go see the orchestra, and we have to go do this. And again, like I loved listening to the orchestra at Grand Floridian. You would walk in after going from the monorail and you would just hear their music, and then you're just like, I guess like instant, like, I don't know, astonishment when you walk through this, like, and you get to see this beautiful big Grand Floridian and this beautiful, like, this music playing, and you see all, like, they actually have an orchestra, and it blew your mind, and they would play all this like beautiful Disney music, and then you just get overwhelmed with like joy and happiness that, oh my God, I'm actually on vacation. This is so magical. And like seeing like all the, like, these people gone now, it's just cold and sad.
Yeah.
And there's really, like, I don't know, people associate these things with their vacation, and now they're just kind of gone, and it's kind of heartless in a way. And it's just,
yeah, I mean, and that was one of the wonderful things about going to the Grand Floridian, and like for how much that place costs, I mean, there should be like some type of entertainment happening over there.
Yeah, you lose that entertainment, you lose something even more, I think, significant in terms of a piece of the overall heart of the experience. So tough to see all of these, again, I say cornerstones. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, these are cornerstones of the experience, just eliminated with a phone call. So we wish all of the Walt Disney World cast members and everybody impacted out east, we wish all of them well. Everybody on the West Coast, anybody that's been affected in between or elsewhere at resort properties, our heart is with you. This has been a terrible week, one of, I think, the darkest in Disney history, certainly, and very, very difficult to see anybody struggling, anybody in any sort of pain or any sort of strife in this regard. We're with you, and we will continue to do everything that we can to bring truth to light and help you in the process as much as we can. But just know that everyone will remember the type of magic and impact you've had on the overall Disney experience during your time. To the 28,000 cast members that have been let go or will be, thank you, cast members.